Okay, this is a story that's been rolling out over the last couple of days. On the face of it, it just sounds like it's about developers, but it's actually really aimed at all of us, so I think it's worth covering. So, a stranger phones you. They say they're from your bank or your internet provider or Microsoft or some rubbish like that. And they talk you step by step into installing an app on your phone right now while you're talking. And that app, once it's on your phone, can potentially see everything: your messages, your passwords, your banking, you name it. It's remote access to your phone. Now, Google has just changed how Android handles exactly this situation. And I want to run through what's changed, how it's meant to protect you, and what, of course, it quietly gives Google in return. So let's talk about that phone call because it's the only reason any of these changes exist. The phone call relies on two things: urgency and being there in the moment. The person, the scammer on the other end, needs you to act now before you've had a chance to think about whether any of it makes sense. And the longer you stay on that call, the more the panic builds and the less you question it. The end game's usually the same. They get you to install something like a remote access tool or a fake security app, whatever it is. And once it's on your phone, the game's basically over. They can see your screen, read your text, and even intercept your banking. Now, the reason I'm spelling all this out is that Google's new change only makes sense once you see it as a response to that specific attack. Now, it's not supposed to be a general crackdown on apps. Others might see it differently. It's meant to be a specific fix for a specific scam. So, what's Google actually done? Well, it's began rolling out something it calls the advanced flow. And this only applies when you try and install an app whose developer isn't all registered with Google. Now, some of the coverage I think has made this sound much worse than it is, unless I'm missing something. Anyway, this isn't a 24-hour wait on every app. It's a one-time thing. Now, here's how it goes. First of all, you enable developer mode. Then you have to confirm that nobody's telling you to do this. Then you reboot your phone. After that, you have to wait a day before you can authenticate. And then from that point on, you can allow unverified apps for 7 days without doing all that again, or indeed even indefinitely. So it's kind of a hurdle you've only got to do once if you want. It's not something that happens on every install. So why a reboot? Why a day to wait? Well, both of these sound rather low tech, don't they? But each one is really aimed squarely at part of this specific scam that we detailed. The reboot is there to break the live session. If a scammer's on the call with you or remotely controlling your screen, a reboot will end it. It will kick them out. The call's over. And the 24 hours is just there to break the urgency. These scams work while the pressure's on. By the time the install can actually go through, in this case, the panic has gone. You've had to wait a full day and mull things over. So the logic to it's quite sound, I think. It's not like it's protecting your phone from a virus. It's protecting you from a person at the other end of the phone. So how does it know whether an app's from a developer who's actually registered with Google? Well, this is where it gets a tiny bit technical, but not much really. An app isn't just an app. It's a package signed with a key and tied to a package name. And that name is then tied to a developer. And Google's introduced a new system called the Android Developer Verifier. Now, it's its job to check whether the app you're trying to install here is registered to a verified developer. Now, this is the important sort of nuance here. It's not really reviewing what the app does or whether it's any good or anything like that. It's vouching for who made it. So it's Google sitting between the developer and your phone, verifying identity, really, not quality. So there is still another option. Power users and developers still have another route in. Now, if you install an app over ADB, that's like the Android developer tool, there's no waiting period at all. Google explicitly says so. Which tells you something really about what this is. Android will still run whatever you ask it to. Now, Google isn't technically stopping these apps. What it's doing is putting friction into the route ordinary people are most likely to use, the route where a scammer would talk you through it. So it isn't really a ban on side loading, as some people have suggested. It's kind of just friction on the default route. Now, so far, this all sounds quite sensible. I think you probably agree. Protecting people from scammers, fine. But there is, I think, a bigger story here because Google isn't just adding a delay. What it's doing is building a whole system that ties developers to verified identities and registered package names. Now, this is aimed really at developers who distribute widely outside Google Play. And the first enforcement date is coming up fast. It's the end of September, and that will be in Brazil, Indonesia, Singapore, and I think Thailand, and then a bigger rollout next year. Now, from that date, the normal installation route changes. And if a developer hasn't registered with Google, Android can then stop any of these ordinary installs unless you go through that advanced flow or you use ADB. So that's the real change, I think. Anyway, it used to be that Android just ran whatever you threw at it. Now the question is becoming, yes, it'll install anything, sure, but you have to identify themselves to Google first. Google is actually trying to ban anything here, and the scam it's tackling is a real one, and does affect a lot of people. But something's changed, really. The same identity check that stops the scammer from getting onto your phone also gives Google the power to decide who counts as a verified developer. And the timing actually makes this a bit more interesting because last week a US judge criticized Google for putting friction in front of competing Android app stores and ordered them to make changes to make it easier. So there's already a competing store going through Google Play as a direct result. So at exactly the same moment, Google is being told to make alternative stores easier to install apps. It's adding this new layer of friction around apps outside the verified system. So they're not legally the same thing. And I'm not saying Google's defying the court, but is this all just coincidence? I don't know. So, what does it mean for you practically? Well, honestly, for most people, probably very little. If you install from Google Play, you'll never see any of this. So, if you do occasionally sideload something, you might clear the wait once, and that's it for 7 days or longer. The people it really changes things for are developers distributing outside the Play Store. And it's probably worth watching over the next year or so how far Google pushes that identity requirement. I think that's what people are worried about. So that's the story. I think it's a genuinely interesting one. And I suspect we'll have more about it around the 30th of September. So thank you very much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay private, and I will see you in the next video.